To anyone who actually watches this video, just know that I'm going through a lot right now. Feeling some kind of burnout with this ministry. Like nobody's really like participating that much. Not nobody, but very few people are. Um, I wonder if I'm even making any difference or an impact. And it's like you can feel this way, guys. This is part of, I guess, trying to pursue a higher calling in your life. You feel like you're not making any differences, like you're just wasting time. But at least I'm doing something with the time that I have available. I have good health for the most part, so it is what it is. I might use my nicotine device a little bit during this reading. I just have a lot going on right now, guys. I've got a court case that can change my life trajectory. It can change my future, or it can bless me if the charges get dropped. But I don't. There's so many uncertainties right now, and it's very stressful, guys. You know, worst case, I might be thrown back in handcuffs. So it's like I don't know what's gonna happen. I really have no idea what's gonna happen. My lawyer still hasn't called me. It's just annoying, man. It's so annoying. This faith is not easy, guys. This faith walk is not easy. It's cost me so much. But I'm going to get started with the reading and just carry on. We'll be reading Genesis 25, 26, Matthew 12, and Psalm 12. So, getting started now. Abraham and Keturah. Now, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. So she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan begot Sheba and Dedan. Thus the sons of Dedan were Raguel, Nabdid, and Ashurim, the Letushim and the Lemumim. And the sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Elda. All these were the sons of Keturah. Now Abraham gave all his possessions to Isaac, but Abraham gave gifts to the sons of his concubines. And while he was still living, he sent them eastward, away from Isaac his son, to the country of the east. The death and burial of Abraham. After these things, the sum of years Abraham lived were 175 years. Holy cow. Then Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, old and full of days, and was added to his people. So his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, opposite Mamre, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite. The field and the cave Abraham purchased from the sons of Heth. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. Thus it came to pass, after the death of Abraham, that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt at the well of the vision. The genealogy of Ishmael and Isaac. Now this is the genealogy of Ishmael, Abraham's son. These were the names of Ishmael's sons, by their names according to their families. Ishmael's firstborn, Nebajoth, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Masa, Hadar, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these were their names, by their towns and settlements, 12 princes according to their nations. These were the years of Ishmael's life, 137 years, and he breathed his last and died, and was added to his people. He dwelt opposite Egypt, from Havilah as far as Shur, as you go toward Assyria, and dwelt separate from all his brothers. Now this is the genealogy of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as his wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Mesopotamia, and the sister of Laban, the Syrian. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And God granted his plea, and Rebekah his wife conceived. But the children struggled together within her. And she said, if all is well, why am I like this? So she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, two nations are in your womb, and two peoples shall be separated from your body. One shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Thus, when her days were fulfilled to give birth, indeed, there were twins in her womb. Now the firstborn came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over. So she named him Esau. Afterward, his brother came out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. So she called his name Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah bore them. So the boys grew. Now Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a simple man, dwelling in tents. Now Isaac loved Esau because he ate his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Then Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field and was weary. So Esau said to Jacob, let me taste this red stew, for I am exhausted. Therefore his name was called Edom. But Jacob said to Esau, sell me your birthright today. Esau replied, look, I am about to die. What good then is this birthright to me? Then Jacob said, swear to me today. So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Genesis 26. Now there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land where I will tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and your seed I will give all these lands. And I will perform the oath I swore to Abraham your father. And I will make your seed multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give your seed all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham your father obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my ordinances, and my laws. So Isaac dwelt in Gerar. Now the men of the place asked about his wife, and he said, she is my sister. For he was afraid to say, she is my wife, lest the men of the place should kill him for Rebekah. That's crazy, just to live in that kind of world where you have to call your wife your sister. Like, we have so many freedoms right now, and we take them for granted. I take them for granted. Because she was beautiful to behold. Now it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of Gerar, looked through a window and saw Isaac, showing endearment to Rebekah, his wife. Then Abimelech called Isaac and said, quite obviously she is your wife. So how could you say she is my sister? Isaac said to him, because I said to myself, lest I should die on account of her. Thus Abimelech said, why have you done this to us? One of the people could easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us. So Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he who touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac showed in that land and reaped, sowed, I'm sorry. Then Isaac sowed in that land and reaped the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. The man began to prosper and continued prospering until he became very prosperous. For he had herds of sheep and oxen and many fields. So the Philistines envied him. Now the Philistines had stopped up all the wells his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and they filled them with earth. Then Abimelech said to Isaac, go away from us, for you are much mightier than we. Then Isaac departed from there and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. Again, Isaac dug the wells of water they had dug in the days of Abraham, his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. He called them by their name. He called them by the names his father had called them. Also, Isaac's servants dug in the valley of Gerar and found a well of fresh water there. But the herdsmen of Gerar fought with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called the name of the well Injustice, because they quarreled with him. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one also. So he called its name Enmity. So he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not fight over it. Thus he called its name Room, because he said, "Now the Lord has made room for us, and has increased us in the land." Then he went up from there to the well of Oath. Now the Lord appeared to him the same night and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your seed for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord. And he pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzzath his friend and Phicol the commander-in-chief of his army. "Why have you come to me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you?" But they said, "We have certainly seen the Lord is with you." So we said, "Let there now be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you will do us no harm, since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed of the Lord." So he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. Then they arose early in the morning, and swore an oath with one another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. It came to pass the same day, Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they dug, and said to him, "We have found water." So he called it Oath. Therefore the name of the city is the well of Oath to this day. Now when Esau was 40 years old, he took as wives Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. But they were contentious with Isaac and Rebekah. End of Genesis 26. Next, we'll read Matthew 12. All right. The Pharisees' hostility. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath, and his disciples were hungry, and began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath." But he said to them, "Have you not read what David did when he was hungry? He and those who were with him, how he entered the house of God and ate the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, nor for those who were with him, but only for the priests? Or have you not read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Yet I say to you that in this place there is one greater than the temple. But if you had known what this means, 'I desire mercy and not sacrifice,' you would not have condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is Lord, even on the Sabbath." Now when he had departed from there, he went into their synagogue. And behold, there was a man who had a withered hand. And they asked him, saying, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" That they might accuse him. Then he said to them, "What man is there among you who has one sheep, and if it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, will not lay hold of it and lift it out? Of how much more value then is a man than a sheep? Therefore it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he stretched it out, and it was restored as whole as the other. Then the Pharisees went out and plotted against him, how they might destroy him. Isaiah, servant of God. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew from there, and great multitudes followed him. And he healed them all. Yet he warned them not to make him known, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will declare justice to the Gentiles. He will not quarrel nor cry out, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break, and smoking flax he will not quench, till he sends forth justice to victory, and in his name Gentiles will trust. Is Jesus from God? Then one was brought to him who was demon possessed, blind and mute, and he healed him, so that the blind and mute man both spoke and saw. And all the multitudes were amazed and said, could this be the son of David? Now when the Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow does not cast out demons except by Beelzebub, the ruler of the demons. But Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself will not stand. If Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then will his kingdom stand? And if I cast out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out demons by the Spirit of God, surely the kingdom of God has come upon you. Or how can one enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods unless he first binds the strong man, and then he will plunder his house? He who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters abroad. Therefore I say to you, every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven men, but the blasphemy against the Spirit will not be forgiven men. Anyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man, it will be forgiven him. But whoever speaks against the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven him, either in this age or in the age to come. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or else make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For a tree is known by its fruit. Brood of vipers, how can you, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure brings forth evil things. But I say to you that for every idle word men may speak, they will give account of it in the day of judgment. For by words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Can Jesus perform a sign? Then some of the scribes and Pharisees answered, saying, teacher, we want to see a sign from you. But he answered and said to them, an evil and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. For as Jonah was 3 days, 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The men of Nineveh will rise up in the judgment with this generation and condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonah. And indeed, a greater than Jonah is here. The queen of the south will rise up in the judgment with this generation and condemn it. For she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And indeed, a greater than Solomon is here. When an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places seeking rest and finds none. Then he says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when he comes, he finds it empty, swept and put in order. Then he goes and takes with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. So shall it also be with this wicked generation. Jesus' relatives failed to understand. While he was still talking to the multitudes, behold, his mother and brothers stood outside, seeking to speak with him. Then one said to him, look, your mother and your brothers are standing outside, seeking to speak with you. But he answered and said to the one who told him, Who is my mother, and who are my brothers? And he stretched out his hand toward his disciples and said, Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. Amen. That's what I needed to hear. So I'm glad I got to hear it. Um, this is the will of the Father. And even though I might not want to do it at times, I know it just must get done, and I will just do it as a sacred duty and nothing else. Even if I'm in not the best mood, I'm just gonna just punch through it and just do my best. I feel that's what God calls me to do, just to suck it up like they taught me in the Marines. Um, Psalm 12 shouldn't be too long. For the end, a psalm by David. How long, O Lord, will you forget me to the end? How long will you turn your face from me? How long will I take counsel in my soul, having grief in my heart daily? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Look upon me and hear me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep in death, lest my enemies say, I prevailed against him. Those who afflict me greatly rejoice, if I am shaken. But I hope in your mercy. My heart shall greatly rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, who shows kindness to me. I will sing to the name of the Lord Most High. Psalms 12. All right. Well, thank you to the one person who might watch this video. I hope you get something out of it, as I have. God bless, and may you have a blessed Sunday.